All right, hey peeps, welcome in to STG Weekly, episode 218. We're gonna be covering Truxton Extreme, freshly released this July 30th of 2026 from Tatsujin Co. Limited on all platforms, minus PS4 and Switch 1. So that's Switch 2, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, which includes GOG as well, and PS5. It'll be myself, Aquas, and Maximo hosting this episode. No guests today.
What's up?
Yeah, and so Maximo and I have had the chance to play the game ourselves, and we've seen what other people have been doing with the game since it released in the last week or so. So we do have, this is basically going to be kind of more of like an impressions episode, but I think we will be seeing what this game has to offer as well in terms of its replay value and its just power as a new released shooter, for lack of better wording. But I will say it has been 35 years since the original games of the Truxton series or Tatsujin series were released in arcades from Toaplan. Toaplan, the basically the mother or grandfather shmup developer from back in the day. But yeah, so kind of going a few different ways here. But anyway, Toaplan, they're back essentially after Truxton and Tatsujin released. Tatsujin was also known as, it translates to expert in English. It's a Japanese word. And so the original games were known for basically being memorizers. They have sections that are very difficult unless you really know what you're doing. But we're going to see some of that same game design in the Truxton Extreme version, and then we're gonna see what else they decided to do to revitalize this series and bring it into the modern day of 2026, where the shmup standard has been set for the most part. So there's a expectation to live up to, and I think the reception has been here and there, I think mixed, but I think overall good. So Maximo and I are going to explore that. You have any thoughts on that, Maximo?
Yeah. I mean, we got the review codes like probably earlier this week, and then we've been just looking here and there. So I really hadn't gotten the chance to play this until Friday night after I got off work, and then I did another run on that early Saturday, and it's interesting, like, because my experience with like the Tatsujins before this, whether it's like Tatsujin No, is like they're very heavy memorizers, and especially like Tatsujin No has like these really long stages that are like 8 to 12 minutes, where you got lulls of just like all these enemy waves, and then like some really hard gotchas, which tend to get a lot harder the further in the game you tend to go. And I think with that game, it took something like a month for anyone to clear the first loop of Tatsujin No. It took a year for the first 2 loops to be cleared, and then something like 8 years for the first 10 million plus alpha. So wow. I get the feeling with this game, they not only wanted to like keep some of the aspects of those earlier Tatsujin games, but also keep it somewhat more accessible. So like, if you're not like a shooting game expert, you just get locked out by like high difficulty from the start. And I think this game kind of does a lot to like have different types of modes, whether it's like story mode, arcade with different difficulty selections. There's like a arena caravan mode. It's also a heart starter mode, which even though it's basically a shortened version of stage 1, you can get hit pretty much of unlimited lives, but you don't die, as a way to like start the game off. Plus a tutorial. Feels like they kind of put a lot of options in to just get people resituated and even though there's a lot of design traits kept from those old games, it's done in a way where it's like, if you die, it's not like extremely punishing in the same way some of those older games could be.
Right. Yeah, you're right. There's been a lot of effort to make it accessible, I feel like. But maybe too much so, because you didn't mention, but on your first playthrough, you basically one credit cleared the game.
Yeah.
Arcade
my
mode.
first credit of arcade mode, I won all the game made to 2-6, and then this replay I have here today was my second credit. So for me, it's like I've had so much experience of like old school dad style shmups that's like even with deaths and stuff like that in the first loop, because I was like busy like joking with some other friends like I call, it's like I was still able to like beat the first loop with like 8 or something lives at least, and then just kind of steamroll into loop 2. And then loop 3 feels like it did get harder, but then I was looking at the time and I was like something like 2 a.m. at that point. I'm like, dude, I've been in this game for like 2.5 hours. And that's one of the other things with this game is that a loop of arcade is like over an hour. So like doing multiple loop runs is like a pretty large time commitment.
It is. And a lot of people have been expressing their thoughts on that. Talking about how their butts are getting sore. And like, that kind of thing. It's long, and it's not, length isn't a bad thing necessarily, but I mean, most shmups are under that hour length. But the thing is like you still have that same design of the original games where there's some lulls in the action and then it picks up. But this time it's kind of it's made exponential due to the length of this game, and well, it is what it is, I guess. We'll see more as we watch the replays, but it does have some pacing issues. But we'll get into it. There's a lot of cool things to see here. You probably would notice right away that it's 16:9 orientation, so you have the full standard widescreen format to play the game in, and there is no rotated mode or letterbox mode or anything like that. And the game does also support co-op, does it not?
Yeah, there's like a team mode that you can do where it's like two players, you share like bomb stock, and you can like save each other if one person gets hit. By, like tagging them with your ship. Okay,
I didn't know that. Neat. But I was gonna say, like, with a screen this wide, kind of like a Jamestown situation where co-op might be a strength. But I think for single player, I didn't mind the widescreen. Because you can do like a lot of macro dodging, which is just using the whole screen to dodge bullet patterns, and that's actually pretty fun. I think. Like you actually do use the full screen, so I think they really tried their best to try this widescreen format out, and not really a lot of developers have really explored this still. For the modern shooter, but we've of course seen vertizontals throughout the years, which is a vertically scrolling game that's got a wider aspect ratio, either 4:3 or a widescreen in this case. So we are dealing with a vertizontal situation here, unofficial terminology. But so on the episode, we are going to be watching parts of a 2 all up to the third loop run. Again, the run is an hour and 10 minutes or 20 minutes long. So we'll watch probably snippets from each loop, perhaps, or something like that, or from loop 1 and loop 2. We'll figure out as we go along.
Yeah, the replay is actually 3 hours, but like each loop is like an hour 10. So
we're not going to try to be here for 3 hours. We're going to try to be here for probably under an hour and a half, I'd say.
Yeah.
So just a heads up on that. And then furthermore, we do have some info, or rather an interview with James Wragg, who is the localization director and translator for Tatsujin Co. And he's been working basically in the Japan shmup scene for a while now. And we'll be reading that interview and maybe giving a little bit of thoughts about that. And and we'll comment also about some other things, because Masahiro Yuge, the creator and director of these games, he also is like, he's strongholding the revitalization of this release, and there's also been interviews with him which we'll also touch on. So do you want to talk a little bit about Yuge and that interview, and maybe some tidbits you remember from that?
Sure.
I remember a few tidbits.
Yeah, so for those who know or don't know about Masahiro Yuge, he was a programmer and composer when he worked at Toaplan many years ago, and was also the composer for Tatsujin and Tatsujin O / Truxton 2. Basically, from what I understand, Toaplan went under because a combination of like business decisions with basically over diversifying, did too many games back in like 1992, 1993. A lot of those didn't pan out, so that even when like Batsugun and Batsugun Special got great reception, they just didn't have enough collateral cash flow to keep things running. So
I see.
Toaplan went under, and then from what I understand, Masahiro Yuge bought the IP rights and then established Tatsujin.co.limited at some point later on down the line in 2017. And his initial objective was overseeing Toaplan IP that he helped create when that company was active. But from my understanding, Tatsujin Extreme, Truxton Extreme is the first game they fully developed under Tatsujin Co. Limited. All the other stuff they had done before is just like licensing out their IP to like other companies. And one of the new interviews, he basically talks about the process behind making this new Tatsujin Extreme game, where it's like, he understands if you want arcade games to be a viable business, you have to create systems that players are going to find both fair and enjoyable. As developers, we took great pleasures in watching players improve and coming up with new challenges and mechanics that would rise to their growing abilities. In many ways, it's like an ongoing game of cat and mouse between them and us.
So that's from the interview, and that's hearkening to just the fact that Tatsujin series was a response to players honing their skills in the arcades.
Exactly. Yeah, and just talking about, there's this sort of strong bond being formed where they kind of play off each other. But then on top of it, this interview also talks about, why did they do 16:9 because of the available technology versus traditionally people rotate their screens of Tate mode, but most modern home TV and PC monitors, you don't usually use them in vertical orientation. So I guess they figured, let's do 16:9 so that we don't waste the unused screen space on the side of the screen. They also talk about keeping the game to have certain perspectives that were in the original, with like you can use the weapons to hit both aerial and ground-based targets, and to introduce that perspective and depth in the visuals, so that not only do you separate the background and like foreground layer parts, but then you're also like physically showing like your weapons hitting stuff on both sides, even in like a 3D space without pixel art.
Yeah, I honestly think they did a pretty good job with the 3D aspect. That sense of depth is nothing like Under Defeat or like Ray Force and some of those games, but like the background does look nice. I mean, there is depth in it, but you don't like, it's hard to tell. The game feels 2D is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
they did a good job making it feel 2D while looking 3D, and I think the graphics are impressive. The bosses and enemies look awesome. The backgrounds are pretty good. Like, you can tell they put forth a pretty big effort here. I mean, it's like look at something comparison like the Cute games, or Cute, or however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
King of Forest and Natsuki Chronicles use pretty simple graphics. But these are pretty simple too, but I think they are utilizing some modern lighting effects here and that type of things. I think they're utilizing the graphics like we mentioned. It's not available on the Switch 1. It's not available on PlayStation 4. It's weird. Yeah, it's PS4 would probably be okay, but I mean the Switch 1, so I don't know, I've heard there's some I don't know if there's been some performance issues on the Switch 1, but personally, playing the PC version, it feels great input lag wise, and it runs great. So it's all pretty cool there. It's nice. It's it feels like a 2026 shmup in a way, because they did go to that extra effort.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we see some stuff like we saw that Platinum game, Soul Cresta, right?
Yeah.
And I was excited for that initially because Platinum is known for their graphics. And they gave us kind of a 2D, barely 3D game. And it's kind of disappointing because I want to see modern shmups have modern graphics. That's kind of the whole point at a certain point. I mean, not the whole point, but you want the explosions to look awesome and stuff like that. And I like the explosions in this, and it is good.
Yeah, actually, that is an interesting counterpoint you did bring up, because if I remember correctly, so Soul Cresta was supposed to be part of Kamiya's arcade gear title initiative. They were doing a Platinum where, from my understanding, they wanted to do a bunch of arcade genre reimaginings of smaller dev teams and stuff like that. To work for general audiences. And with that game, it also has a story mode, which I think the arcade mode for that game is an hour long. Story mode something almost 2 hours long. But because of the ideas they had in there, because they didn't have that built-in audience of we have games that have that lull in pacing or are expected to be super long, I think people just weren't expecting it, and then decided, okay, we're not going to buy this. And because of that, the game didn't do as well as they probably expected. They just canceled the rest of their arcade gears lineup that was planned after that point. Then Kamiya ended up leaving Platinum and doing his own thing.
So they never really had the intention of making basically a AAA shmup.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the interviews for that, it was just we're doing something more on the budget and just kind of doing these reimaginings with the aspect of, if this is successful, then we can do other types of games or genres with reimagining. Yeah.
It's all very interesting. We do have a long replay here, but we'd like to read this interview from James Wragg, and we'll make a few comments about it, but we've been in contact with him, and he's been very nice. He did help us get the review codes for this game, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But let's learn a little bit about him and about the climate for localizing shmups 2026. So we've asked James, or CPN Pixel is his nickname, I believe. We've asked him some questions, and Maximo and I will read the interview together and comment on the answers if we have anything to say. Maximo is going to be asking the questions of this interview, and I'll be answering them as if I'm James.
Okay, so I just put the first question at the bottom, but
I see it all.
What was your roles for Tatsujin Extreme?
James answers, I did handle that, and a lot of various non-development tasks too. Promo, marketing, developer support, etc., which can be lumped into business development, which is what he's credited for.
Yeah, and that also pertains, he handled the localization and translation aspects for this game, as I
think
we mentioned earlier. So Okay. And then how did you get involved with localizing Japanese games?
Um, Long story short, James says, localization found me. I'd majored in Japanese at university with a mind to do something in games in Japan. 2 years later, I ended up helping out with localization when I joined Pyramid, or Patapon 3 and Darius Burst, etc. And that sort of carried over to other titles at subsequent companies. Yeah, so I like this bit because like he just kind of jumped into the shooting scene, I guess. And then now he's just like that guy that people go to.
Yeah.
So he's got he's kind of got that cred going, which is neat.
Yeah, because he was also the guy for like quite a few years, and also was a producer at Extra Arcadia up until 2024, I believe. So he's definitely made a lot of rounds in many different companies, and I think even with this current role he has, which that can lead us to the next question: how do you come in contact with Tatsujin Co. Limited, the Tatsujin Extreme project?
Well, I'm just queuing up another song here. James says, I was working with Embracer in Japan while I was freelance, and at the time, Tatsujin Co. were in the process of joining the group. After that, part of my job entailed looking after Tatsujin Extreme and making sure Tatsujin had what they needed / wanted from Clear River Games, the publisher, and vice versa. So, do you know what Embracer is exactly? Is that some like mother company or something?
They're like a Swedish video game and media holding company, which is based in Sweden and Karlstad. But basically, they have different operative groups within that space. One of which includes THQ Nordic, and they also provide support to like other companies within basically their group. So that includes Bitwave Games, Clear River Games. Since I think probably 4 or 5 years ago, they made like a bunch of investments where it's like they just straight up bought companies and gave them a bunch of funding to basically create new titles and stuff like that. And then some of those initiatives did not end up working out, and they ended up closing some of those. But I believe, Bitwave's still active. Clear River Games is still active, but Clear River is more on the like publishing side. So like they do a lot of work on like publishing physical releases. And for Tatsujin Extreme, I'm pretty sure they're involved in like the distribution for like EU physical copies for like Switch 2, PS5 for Tatsujin Extreme. And then also in Japan under like the THQ Nordic label.
Gotcha. So they are kind of like a mother company, I guess, for lack of better phrasing.
In a way.
Like Cute or Cute is kind of like that for the Eschatos, King of Force Natsuki Chronicles. As I understand, they actually like do not just games primarily,
it's like but medical equipment too.
Yeah, but it's interesting when that kind of happens. It's like, yeah, we can allocate some of our funds just to have our buddy MKai make a shmup over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's a little bit. Maybe it's a situation similar to that. But in any case, like, it's hard for shmups, these days. Still, it's still a niche genre. It's still a niche genre. So
yeah, and you need people to be interested to kind of invest funding into making that possible, and getting good programmers.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell there's some money in this. Like I said, the graphics, I mean, they look good, and the music arrangements are actually awesome. We'll get to that maybe a bit more later. Let's continue, definitely. I guess.
Okay. What was it like to promote an old series like Tatsujin?
James responds, both fun and challenging. Fun because lots of people around the world remembered it, and hearing about all the different ways they'd encountered the game and how it varied depending on the country was eye-opening. Challenging because the series has been away for a long time and the genre has changed, as have the fans' expectation in the interim. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like we were saying earlier, the standards have been pretty much set for shmups since they were hits in the arcades in the 90s, and that bar is pretty high.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you gotta do a lot of things to keep people engaged, and if it's like your game is long, you gotta find ways to keep them engaged too. So it's definitely a challenge to balance everything all around that, and then still have the accessibility factor when you're playing a release for console audiences, because of certain expectations in mind versus if it were just like purely arcade from like the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, and then a lot of people aren't even gonna know what this series is.
Yeah.
You know, when they're looking at like shmups, the Bullet Hell tag on Steam.
Right.
They're gonna know like what this series is. So I mean, but they decided to, you know, basically make it a spiritual sequel, and the game does play a lot like the originals, of including a EX burst button to spend a multiplier, as we've been seeing in the footage. We'll be talking about that later, but they have made some turns in the game design to modernize it with a pretty basic scoring system, which we'll be getting into.
Yeah. So DMC in the chat says, did they talk anything about future plans in the review? That actually is the last question in there. So yeah, briefly, I'll just say, when I asked him, are there any plans for any future patches or updates for Tatsujin Extreme? He said nothing announced.
No patches.
So,
but I mean, if people complain enough, you know, that's how these things go.
Yeah, so I mean, my takeaway from that is I think there are some small things that probably could be addressed, but I think we will probably get a little more into what that is further on in the episode, so stay tuned for that.
Yep. I guess I have nothing else to comment on that question. Go ahead.
But yeah, let's circle back then to what were some difficulties in the development of Tatsujin Extreme?
So we asked James that. He says he can't really talk on behalf of the development team, but having talked to them throughout and translated a number of interviews of late, I know a lot of care was taken to make sure the game played well in 16:9 ratio, and also ensuring players of all levels could enjoy and be challenged by it. So yeah, we have talked about this already. The difficulty is on the easier side overall, just so you can just jump in and play, and perhaps that might mean it's too easy, but I mean, we're talking about getting people to play these games, so I mean, there has to be some meet halfway thing going on there, whether it be difficulty selections or that type of thing, and there is no difficulty selections in this, so that is something. But though story mode is easier than arcade overall, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, that you pretty much summed it up as best as I could. So I guess then we can go to the next question were there any challenges with the localization of Truxton Tatsujin Extreme for NA audiences?
Yep, so the game has been localized, it's in English. James responds, nothing particular, there are always challenges with multilingual projects, but that's a general thing. So I mean, we do have like there's like a comic strip in the story mode. I'm assuming he helped with that. And it seems like the story, they actually wanted to focus on that pretty hard. I didn't actually look at the comic much myself, but we'll take a look at that too. At some point.
Yeah, it's like there's basically 6 different sets of comics for the 3 branching story mode paths. So like there's quite a bit of text, and not only that, but like it's also kind of a semi motion comic, so like stuff will move within the panel it's focused on, which I think ends up being pretty cool. Only minor thing that I thought was a little funny sometimes is that sometimes character faces can be a little loose, I guess, like not really sharply defined as I was maybe expecting, but it's like a very, very minor complaint when like the rest of it looks pretty slick. So then the next question we asked James was, what was your favorite part working for Tatsujin Extreme?
testing Arena, or the Caravan mode, as it was developed. But more than that, seeing the response of players change, particularly those who disliked the vertical aspect once they'd played the demo or bought the game. So I think, there's some reservation about the horizontal aspect from people. But
yeah, I saw when the demo initially came out on the couple other spaces, both on Discord and like the forum. I noticed a lot of people are just like, don't know if 16:9 looks good, and also people just saying like, are they gonna be able to do enough with all the space?
Yeah,
and I think part of it too is just like most of the demo footage was like earlier stages, and also just like focused a lot on like people are focusing really heavily on like the first boss too, and being like, well, is it gonna just be like that for like the rest of the game? Which is like, come on, it's a demo. Like they're obviously gonna add more to it.
Yeah, I can see people being wary because the stage 1 and 2 are a little reserved in difficulty, especially. All right, let's move on.
So our next question for James was, what was your favorite part? Oh, well, who was the main audience for Tatsujin Extreme?
Main audience was fans of the series and or of classic non-bullet hell style shooting games. It's welcoming to all abilities, so if you're a newcomer or someone who hasn't touched the genre for a while, or just old like me, I think you'll enjoy the experience. So we've touched on that already. It's they're trying to make it accessible. And that concludes our questions for James. So yeah, thanks to him for answering those. And not the most illuminating interview, but it's cool to learn about one of our guys on the English side.
Yeah, I mean, I think the questions themselves, it is interesting to learn about that aspect of the process, even though I understand, like, when you're on the localization business management side, you are probably going to know the most about that general area versus, like, the more nitty-gritty creative side, whether it's, like, art design, programming, music, and stuff like that, which I think so far, really, the biggest insights you can get is, like, the time extension from, like, Masahiro Yuge, which most of the technical stuff he talks about is just like the adapting the visual side to 16:9, or like, how he did the music remixes and stuff like that, which I'm kind of hoping to see a little bit more of that in subsequent interviews come out, because I feel like there's more that is yet to be talked about for that aspect of the game, and I'd be kind of curious to see like what led to some of the decision making aspects in those areas pertain to.
For the music?
Music and just like adapting stuff for like the programming side, I guess.
I see. Yeah.
Because there's like certain stuff in the game where it's like, oh, this is like an enemy formation from like original Tatsujin, or like this is the same behavior from like this enemy type from like Tatsujin no Truxton 2. So it's like, how would they get that in this modern game?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some throwbacks like that I think the fans of the series have been noticing. Alright, well, let's get into the replay and start talking about the game. We're going to start from the top on Maximo's Truxton Extreme. This 2-all run, we'll start from the beginning, and we'll just kind of comment about what the game mechanics, and go from there. And maybe we'll try to show most of the stages, probably. We're going to kind of wing it here. After 2 stages, we might jump to loop 2 to show the difference.
Yeah,
and then also, we'll do the next stages in loop 2, and etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think that works, because I think my loop 1 here is like really, I was kind of distracted a little bit just because I'm talking with other people and just not taking loop 1 as seriously versus 2. So
yeah. Remember, I mean, these were the kind of games where like people, were like taking a drag of their smoke like during the downtimes in the arcades, and like, it's like you're drinking a beer, or like you're drinking a beer and whatever.
Right.
Like, but it's not exactly that way, because it's like the originals were for experts, so you couldn't exactly slack off when you're playing the original games. But I think this modern one, you can probably just have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And maybe don't take it too seriously because, well, of reasons that we'll go into.
Right. Yeah. One of my friends was watching this. He was just like, dude, this is like a certified chill game. I was like, oh, this is not going to be the allegations.
It do be kind of like that. So let's get the replay started here. Are you ready?
All right. I have it loaded at 0.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Of course, we ended up talking a lot there, but you know, there's a lot of buzz for this game going around, and I think it just goes to show that we just spent like 45 minutes talking about what it means for this game to come out. Oh, I got some buffering, so let me. We're probably gonna have to retry that. Hold on. Let's pause. Can you go to 54 seconds? We'll try from there.
54.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Or maybe actually, sorry, 39.
39. Okay.
I don't know why I buffered.
Okay, I'm at 39.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. There's been a lot of like buzz, yeah, like I say, and I hope we kind of gave you guys some good background on what's going on with this game. But in any case, here we are in the game.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of the familiar weaponry from the original games.
That one is new.
And yeah, white. I'm not sure what the official name is.
Homing shot. Yeah. So one of the things I noticed very early on is this white shot, because in this game, it's similar to like original Tatsujin, where it's like you get 3 Ps, you go up another power level, you max out at power level 5, but like once you get this like homing shot to like past power level 3, it gains so much coverage, and on top of it, you have this other button or button on your controller which you can assign to EX shot, which basically acts as like a stronger buff shot, and for homing it'll lock on to enemies, and you can kind of supplement this too with like point blank properties where you can just throw in a bunch of damage, and for like a lot of stuff in this game it just kind of steamrolls it.
Yeah,
needing to really position yourself that thoroughly.
Yeah, white is really powerful, and you know, I was trying the game at first and trying the different power-ups. You have, you know, the red is going to be your cone Vulcan. You just picked it up. You have green, which is the focused fire. Blue for your lightning. The lock-on lightning, which is a Truxton classic.
Yeah.
And what else is there?
There's also multiple. There's some like purple shot, which has like
the
kind
plasma
of napalm effects.
Yeah, napalm,
but
things.
It's can't really concentrate it all that much. There's unlockables in the form of like the gold thunder laser and the black thunder laser.
Okay.
And I think the black thunder laser has some interesting properties that you could use in a couple of situations, but I haven't really messed around with it much outside of certain spots in stage 3.
Yeah, so basically my point is we're going to be seeing a lot of white because you end up realizing that it's just overpowered.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line there.
Yeah.
Because
there's also
the game has enemies from behind, and it's just, you know, being able to use the EX shot for any enemy to get those multipliers at any portion of the screen, it's just good. But yeah, the EX shot, once again, yeah, it's you gain meter for that just by destroying stuff with your regular shot. Not
it's
including
like mostly
asteroids,
regular enemies, yeah.
Not including the asteroids. But yeah, so yeah, I think these giant enemies, like these explosions and stuff, they're really good. Like the enemies models are great. Like it really has a good impression at first with the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty impressive with some of the lighting effects and stuff like that, which I think people do appreciate in this day and age where it's like, oh, it looks kind of modern.
My only thing with the graphics is like there's a little too much glow going on.
Yeah, like everything is like a light source, so it's just like if you were in space, would everything be perpetually like glowing?
Like even those asteroids are glowing, and I don't really know why. I mean, I guess they have energy in them, or they have. I mean,
Yeah,
they're like Vulcan.
just say they have
they're
like some
volcanic,
special chemical.
they're like volcanic,
They're, like,
but
luminescent.
I mean, even the bullets have that little bit of glow, and like I don't know, it's kind of a visually busy game to begin with, but you also have like that glow. That's like I think that's one thing is like you could maybe turn off the glow or something, and it'd be a little bit nicer.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see if they could toggle it.
Like Eschatos had that. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
One other thing I don't think I mentioned yet. So, like original Tatsujin, there are these different colored towers in each stage, and if you destroy them with the correct corresponding weapon, you get an extra 1-up.
Oh,
And that is in
Really?
loop 1. In loop 2, if you do the same thing, you just get the same weapon type that you destroy the tower with, which just gives you the 5,000 bonus plus whatever multiplier you have at that time.
so you're saying every tower has a 1-up if you use a certain weapon type?
They're specifically colored weapon types. Like in stage 1, like there's a kind of like a spherical shaped red tower. You destroy that with the red shots, gives you a 1-up.
Oh, okay.
And
Didn't know that.
I think, yeah. So
That's kind of cool.
in stage 2, there's a one. It's the same, but it's green. So if you destroy with green, you get another 1-up there.
So
And this is on top of
yeah.
this is on top of getting regular score extents, and then there's also other 1-up drops that you can get from mid bosses, killing certain big enemies. So you do get quite a lot of extra lives in loop 1 if you play your cards right.
10 million points per 1-up, and then the 1-up item will drop as an item
Yeah.
from an item carrier. So you end up with a lot of lives, especially if you're doing the scoring, and you're going to want to do the scoring because it's like the EX shot is more powerful, and you do build that gauge up pretty easily. Mid enemies or larger targets will refill the gauge a lot faster, so you can route out which enemies you'd like to refill the gauge on somewhat.
Yeah.
But you are going to be wanting to use that EX gauge. So I like that the scoring is tied to your power. I mean, it's like a Moochie Pork situation. Basically,
Yeah,
you have like a
you can
large
just, like,
shot,
cash
which you
in, get
use
them.
meter for, and then you build it back up by collecting items.
Yeah. Even though like the items you pick up, they're stuck at that base 100 point value times whatever multiplier you have. So once the multipier's maxed, yeah, you can't do any sort of exponential like metal pickups, but
Yeah, there's no like
I mean,
chaining or anything.
it's fine enough for like this sort of game, because I figured you try to overcomplicate the scoring system, then people are just gonna be like confused, especially when these original games were quite basic with like the way you optimize score.
Yeah. But yeah, I love I mean the big enemies and the bosses, like the bosses look really cool. You can tell they
Yeah.
they had a lot of detail on those.
Yeah, that first boss guy is a callback to the OG Tatsujin Stage 5/final boss,
Oh, cool.
Daguraba or whatever it's called.
Okay.
So
Dagobah?
I thought that was kind of nice, just like bringing that back. It's like, you remember this guy? Before throwing you for like all these other new bosses they designed for this.
Yeah. We didn't mention
And
the
also-
speed system,
Oh,
but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of like the certain console stuff. Like I'm thinking Thunder Force, where you could just like toggle your speed between like you go pretty low and you're basically like super slow, or you max it out and you're just zipping across the screen like the original Tatsujin games. Which it's interesting they put that in here, because I know some people really complain about that with the first 2 games, where it's like once you're at like max speed, you have to get you comfortable with like zipping around.
Yeah, it was really fast. I mean, probably even faster than it is in this. But yeah, so you collect your speed power-ups up to 6, and then you can just select whichever one you want. However,
Yeah.
there's also a focus or a slow speed button. So
Right.
basically, you're just gonna get all your speed ups, be on 6 or 5, I would say, and then just use your slow speed button if you need to.
Yeah.
Just keep it
And
simple.
Yeah, and then if you die, you lose 1 speed power up, and then you go down 1 power level. But
Right.
it's not too bad recovering from these checkpoints.
Yeah, from what I can tell, when you die, it's a checkpoint, but it's just always like just a tiny bit behind where you were. I don't think they're actual pre-designated checkpoints until the final level, I think. I don't know, did you notice what that was like?
I think
Maybe there was
I think it
pre-designated
is
ones.
pre-designated for like every stage, but it's like every few or so minutes, and because these stages
Okay.
are so long, it's like you can have it be like last quite a while.
Yeah, like you're not gonna go back too far, I think. You die in
But the thing
general.
is like once you max out like your power level, like power level 5, then you can do something similar to like summy, where you like max out the power counter. So like you die, you're still at the max power level, but you have to collect 3 more power ups if like you don't want to avoid going down a power level if you end up chain deafing or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, these giant orbs here, which kind of have a counter fire. I like that. I like that enemy type.
Yeah.
That's cool. They're like attached to like these trees in the background, which is also a nice touch.
Yeah,
Actually,
everything
like-
just being
yeah.
connected is cool.
Yeah, having the background be part of the gameplay like that is nice. You do see the soul towers, by the way, being revealed from the EX shot. You'll see the homing
Yeah.
shots go towards those locations, but they're generally pretty obvious.
Yeah. I think there's some hidden ones in like the grass areas, but it's like you just use whatever EX shock you have to like uncover those.
Yeah, so the mechanics are pretty straightforward. Your bombs do provide invincibility as soon as you use them, and they are fairly powerful as well. And you do get a lot of them, so the game's good about giving out bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to want to use them because, well, some of the boss patterns are pretty quick. And, well, especially in Loop 2, you might need to use those a lot. But, yeah, they do actually end up doing a lot of damage. You have, like, kind of some sniper tanks coming out of the caves here. These, whatever,
Yeah.
classic
This
design. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They do pop out, you know, kind of, they can snipe you, but White's got you covered.
Yeah, basically white can just handle almost everything this game has to throw at you.
Yeah, so you're already up, you're gonna grab another one up there.
Yeah, so
and-
that's a fixed 1-up drop on the right from that big enemy in Loop 1 at least.
Oh, nice. Some fixed 1-ups, okay, as well. Well, yeah, you have this enemy type. You're just kind of weak. So yeah, some of the mid enemies, the strategy is just to weaken them with your regular shot, then finish them off with your EX shot. Basic
Yeah.
strategy there. Now that kind of turns up a little bit here. A lot of bullets there.
Yeah, that's like a gotcha moment because I don't think you're really expecting that your first time.
Yeah.
But
You will be lulled
No.
into thinking you're safe in this, and then yeah, they do. That's the classic Truxton moment. That's kind of what the gameplay was founded off of. Just relaxed gameplay, then all of a sudden, like you're on
Yeah.
like this really hard part where it's like 4 mid enemies on screen, and they're all doing like aimed shots at you or whatever.
exactly, yeah.
It's not nearly as pronounced as the original games, but you still have that here, and
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's-
mostly just because the
yeah.
base bolt speed is just nowhere near as fast.
now these enemies, yeah, you have a special bonus for EX killing them once they're
Once they-
connected.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just didn't bother with that here.
you get I think 1 item. I don't know what item drops there, but anyway, you can add that to your multiplier. You can add that to your multiplier, or get that 5,000 plus times 10.
Yeah, it's like a little optimization you can do here and there.
Yeah, so there's like there might be some more secrets like that. When I saw that was a secret, I was like, oh, there might be some. There probably
Yeah.
some other secrets here and there, like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But as for this episode, though, I mean, it is basically the second week that this game's been out, so it's like we're not gonna have all the information here. I'm sure stuff is gonna be discovered, but this game is pretty straightforward, so I think we'll have pretty much the lowdown on a lot of the game here. Still.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I've seen people optimizing so far is like, so for arcade mode, you can choose to do it with infinite loops, or you can do a fixed one loop mode. And for at least one loop mode, I think it was SF Koa who's been spending some time like just figuring out like where you can optimize stuff, because there are certain things later on where it's like not just score optimizations, but I think there's also hidden score extent items too, with like a particular type of mid boss that shows up later. So because of that, you can get a bunch of extra lives, and then you do all those optimizations plus basically no deafing the game, and you can get a pretty hefty end bonus at the end of it. So like you get over something like 125 million by just doing one loop.
Oh wow, okay. So those bonuses end up adding up pretty decently. There's also like a time remaining bonus, which seems kind of hefty too, because you can't really milk. You don't really milk the bosses for the most part, from what I can tell. There's one boss where you can, but I had no idea if that was lucrative or not.
Oh, I think probably the stage 7 boss.
It's like it has those missiles firing out, those giant missiles.
But this one, yeah, this one you can too, I think.
Oh, this is the one, I think.
Yeah, you can milk this guy if you want.
You can see these patterns, you know, this is like, you know, classic Raiden type bullet patterns and all this. And you do have that. You do gotta not be flailing around, you know.
Yeah. This is also kind of like that one Dogyun boss where you can just use the missiles or whatever to just block the huge laser.
And there is some there is some tension here. I mean, it is if you die in the boss, you're gonna have to try it again.
Yeah. Actually, there is one interesting thing though, where if you die and you have like over 3 bombs in stock, you still keep all those bombs.
Oh wow!
That you have accumulated. Whereas if you die with like less than 3 bombs, then you just get restocked to 3.
Okay, nice. I didn't know that. That's convenient. Because yeah, you do end up getting massing up those bombs pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
These enemy formations, go ahead. These enemy formations can close you off here. This is one of those gotcha moments, kind of.
Yeah, it's a little difficult sometimes to see what you're doing, but like at least with loop 1, you can kind of react dodge to a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also something else you can do here where you don't pick up the power-ups on screen right away. They can actually block enemy bullets.
Yeah, I like that. So that's neat.
You can kind of use that to make some routing decisions there too, which might be useful for higher loop play as well on certain stages, where you have like a lot of stuff oversecting.
You can see it. Yeah, you can see it coming into play here a little bit. I thought that was a nice little just touch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not?
Here I think the stage, yeah. There I'm just like not paying attention. Again.
Unless you know what you're doing, yeah, you're probably gonna get closed off on those for the most part. I mean,
yeah,
you are no expert yet.
No, I'm just like flailing my way through this loop.
Yeah,
it's a second credit after all.
Yeah. We did have a couple questions. Does the game have a rank system? That I'm not sure of. How about you?
I am not sure. The only thing I did notice is like you get to the next loop and like bolts are noticeably faster, and sometimes there's like added density with certain patterns.
I don't know if it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Another question is the game lagging? I didn't notice it have any slowdown or any bad input lag on the PC version myself.
Yeah, I ran this at like, what, 60 hertz, so I didn't realize there was any slowdown or anything like that.
Yeah, I was running it at 90 FPS myself, but you can run it at even higher. You got the monitor and graphics card to support it. It's not I think overly demanding game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
part.
like what 1080p, and I have like a 9070 XT now, so like this is not gonna make it sweat.
I was happy when I loaded the Steam version and beat it just to be happy with the input lag, and it feels good to play.
Yeah, I mean it is a pretty responsive game, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
With anything that's like old school.
Oh, of course. We're always gonna have to comment on that. It's a big deal. Cool. You go like through a big door there to this like deeper cavern base, and here's some classic Truxton situations here. The medium/big enemy that all fire at you with like aimed away shots. And then this is like a throwback to the capsules that have the 3-way aimed.
Yeah. Yeah, these this is probably like the most root heavy part of the game, especially on later loops, because especially with the increased bullet speed later on, like these stalactites, when they explode, they just like overlap, and it's pretty hard to read when you're just trying to react dodge with homing. So one of the things, if I do come back to this, I was thinking of is maybe just checking out the Black Thunder laser for this section, since with the EX shot, it can cover like so many different areas of the screen and allow you to kind of probably just like tap dodge your way around some of these denser patterns here.
Yeah, I think when I was playing this part, I was just like, I'm just gonna try to destroy everything instead of like avoiding trying to destroy those like you might consider doing. But you have the weight shot, it just destroys everything. I mean, look at that. Especially when you charge it up, that damage really gets legit when you hit the EX shot.
But I don't know if it's as good on like higher lows, because it is with the faster speed of like the capsules exploding, it makes it a little harder sometimes to track everything.
Yeah, that might be a situation where you'd want a more narrow shot. I'm sure there is some site routing stuff. I mean, I think you're gonna have like all that game design come out in the later loops.
Yeah,
which is it's, I don't know, it's I mean, if you like the game and you're gonna play it, you're gonna probably get to the second loop, and I mean, then it's just like, well, there's like, your difficulty for you. But the problem is like learning the game initially. If you are experienced shmup player, it's not gonna take long. Like Maximo said, once he seed this on his like second try or first try.
Oh, it was first try.
First try,
but then the 2-all was the second try, which is this run here.
But I've seen Loop 3 and Loop 4 and stuff, and yeah, it does get pretty busy and stays a lot busier throughout the game. And the bullets do get really fast, and it can be really overwhelming, and it does provide some pretty crazy moments. But it's just a matter of getting there. If you want to do a full run, for a scoring run, well, at least you can pause the game and stretch along the way. But you're going to be sitting down for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, that's kind of the other
people
hard
have already
part.
been doing that only a week in, and we were talking about earlier in the episode, it took players back in the day months, if not years, to be able to do that. So different difficulty curve here in year 2026.
Yeah, I think the other hard problem with it just being so long for the loops is just like, at least in my personal experience, when I'm working full time, plus my commute, I usually maybe have like an hour on like weekdays. So like this kind of by choice necessitates me to like pick stuff that's like not as long, and then if I have like long runs, just kind of leave it for the weekend.
Yeah. Oops. So, yeah, that's the thing. If you're on the side of the screen or in the back of the screen, sometimes there are back enemies, sometimes there are side enemies, so, yeah, do mind that. Most of the time, there isn't any back enemies.
Yeah.
But, there will be some.
Yeah, that
actual
would have
death
been probably
there.
easily avoided had I just gone higher on the screen. But at the time, I think because I'm talking to people, I kind of got distracted, and
Yeah. You can kind
I
of
was
tell
like,
you're just having fun here.
they were just talking like what the Dodgers versus Red Sox game, and then some guy was just like, "Yo, I had Battlezone from like Atari when I was a kid."
Oh, nice. I think isn't Battlezone an arcade game?
Yeah,
Dude.
it is. It's a Atari vector-based game. Where
Yeah,
you're
I played
controlling
that. It's pretty
tanks.
good. It has like a sense of depth,
Yeah,
doesn't it? It's like
very
it's
cool.
like first person. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Exactly.
It's so long that you end up talking about Battlezone.
Yeah, because I think at this point in the run, I was like, "Oh my god, we're almost half an hour in. I'm holding up the stage 3 boss."
Speaking of the length, we're gonna go to loop 2, I think, after this stage, and resume the stage order in loop 2. So we'll just try to remember to do that. We can see the difference.
This is also another boss which I've heard from people that this is better at the black laser because since there's so many parts of the laser that can latch onto bosses, you can do like a lot more damage to like the center part here instead of basically having to wait a couple cycles if you're using white here.
Yeah, those side bits are kind of just like tanking your damage. It's kind of anti-white technology here.
Maybe this could be a sign that the developers like don't use it here, but once you destroy that, it's just kind of like back to business as usual.
That transformation is sweet.
It is cool, yeah. Even though here they also are like, yeah, you probably shouldn't hit this, and I was not paying attention to that for sure.
Boss is like spinning around, and you can like see like the turrets that fire the weaponry. So you have like that amount of detail in here. It's just nice. Nice.
Yeah, I thought I might have made a mistake there, but
okay.
Yeah,
So let's
when those like orbs come out, you don't want to shoot those.
Let's pause here and let's try to look for the beginning of stage 4 of loop 2.
Okay, hold on.
So we're gonna take it just a moment.
A little bit. One sec.
I'll help you.
Probably at the 140 something.
140.
Oh no! Hold on.
Let's see here.
God, where? 14255.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'll go to 55. I'm there.
14255.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna pick up now. We're gonna continue the stage order as it was before, but now we're gonna be in loop 2, and we're gonna see the difference in difficulty.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah, I was looking at chat just now. I see Squid mentioning like enemy health doesn't get reduced on death for checkpoints, which, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I don't really feel like there's any difference in like you rank down or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think rank
as far
is a
as like
thing here.
speed goes. Like maybe the most beneficial thing is like if you die once at a checkpoint, it may be good as a way to just get like bomb stock back or like EX meter back if you need it for like the next stage. But you don't want to like chain death because then you start running into like power loss issues.
Right. You've had a pretty successful run up to this point. You've amassed 14 lives.
Yeah, even with I died a bunch in loop 1 too, so it's just like this game throws a lot of extra lives at you.
Does. I mean, if you're scoring as well in your runs up to like loop 3, you're gonna have up to like 25 or something extra lives. If you're like doing all that, so you do get a lot of lives. It's easy to stay afloat, I guess.
Yeah, I think and it's more lives versus like if you like did Tatsujin or Tatsujin no miss, pretty sure you get more lives than that. If you know what to do for everything, I think you can get like over 20 lives or whatever for loop 1.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because like when I was watching Iconoclast review, like he's doing loop 5 footage and he still has like 20 lives. It's like, okay.
Yeah. You can see that there's some issue with that. I don't think we really need to explain it minutely.
Just instinctually.
We just, you know, it's just there's something weird. There's something with that. I don't know. If you could like do score runs, that would just be starting from a higher loop. I could see that maybe being a solution. We mentioned that there is the caravan mode, a 2-minute mode, and then we also we haven't mentioned, but the story mode actually does have stage-specific scoring and leaderboards. Is that right?
So yeah, story mode is a little weird in that like there's 3 characters, and then each character is 6 episodes. But then what I noticed playing it more yesterday was when each character gets to like their episode 5 counterpart, the first character does basically stage 5 in arcade. Second character, stage 5 would be 6, and then third would be stage 7. And then all of them have the same stage 8 outside of certain fixed formations, enemy formations, which are randomized in arcade mode. And then the first character only has to fight 1 phase of the first boss. Second character fights 2 phases, and then the third fights all 3 phases. Which that's definitely a choice they made, but I think it kind of may explain why in arcade they're just like, yeah, let's have 8 stages, and then each stage has their own area A and B of the different music changes and like layouts, which causes the arcade mode to be pretty long.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, the caravan mode is called arena mode.
Yep.
Here you are. So this is kind of what you do. You let the enemy. You end up kind of like letting the enemies fill the screen, so you can just like do like a burst of your EX. It only takes like half a second to like get the EX to come out, so you're really not like spending a chunk of your bar to use it. You can just use it whenever the time's right to optimize it for the most part. It's not like Moochie Moochie Pork, which is a very similar system. You spend like a chunk of your gauge if you activate the large shot, aka the laser in that game. So it's even easier to use the EX shot here, which is fine. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy to do. Got enemies coming from all angles there. It's pretty quick.
Yeah. These enemies can also appear on the final stage too, and then block you if you're like not positioning right, but not too bad here. Yeah, they throw in the Tatsujin stage 1 boss here. I'm not sure if there's anything more to it besides just the homage aspect.
So those bullets there, I mean, those are really fast. That's a big difference from Loop 1, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that particular attack. So
I don't know if there's a secret to you let the guy go all the way at the end and then kill him, because I think someone else tried that and nothing happened.
To comment about the music, by the way, Masahiro Yuge did mention, he is the composer as well. But he also said that the music in this game is what he wanted the songs to sound like, their original vision. So now we have technology caught up, and we have the true versions of the original music, which is cool.
See, yeah, that is interesting, because also there are these DLC packs where you can put on either you can add the Batsugun ship plus their music, the Tatsujin ship plus its music, and Tatsujin the ship plus its music for like $350 each. And then I think for the physical editions, they just include all those with purchase of the game. As for these new remixes, I think some of them are good. Some of them, the instrumentation is maybe not quite to my liking.
Yeah.
But then on top of it, there are certain new tracks later on, which I remember listening to some of these for the first time, and I was like, am I playing a different game here? Because
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if it entirely meshes with like what the game is going for, but once we get
there's
to
like
that
some
point,
like really slow music that plays later, and it's kind of weird.
yeah, some like weird elevator-esque music, which is I don't know why they decided to go for that. 'Cause
Yeah, overall the soundtrack is good to listen to though.
yeah,
I mean, Truxton, aka Tatsujin, and Tatsujin, they both have like very memorable soundtracks
they do. Yeah,
from that
Even
era. So it's a focus. It's definitely a focus.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
almost got you.
So we got this guy, Lusterfrost Claws, and I've not bothered to like learn this at all yet.
I like this boss because it uses the full screen, so you're on all the full right side, then you're on the full left side. So they really did want to use that full screen.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
nice. For me, I like the full screen aspect because like you can just macro dodge a lot of patterns, aka just fly around them completely with your max speed, and that's actually pretty fun to do. And you don't really get punished for it, at least not in Loop 1 that much, anyways.
Whoops. Yeah.
Gotcha moment.
Yeah. I was not prepared for how fast this came out.
Yeah, that's so fast. I think you can come in here with like your shmup fundamentals, where like you're not flailing around and not being center of like the boss, you know, and
Yeah.
tap dodging frequently. That's gonna get you a long way in this game. Easily.
Yeah. Just knowing where you need a bomb, and also you can use the EOX shot there to like cancel phases and stuff like that, which can be helpful.
Duh. Duh. I love that. You gotta love the boss
Yeah.
music.
It is so good.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, because you're back. Okay, so take 2. You had to like play a little bit of the level to get back.
Yeah, so there it's like you can just basically get resituated as needed.
Fairly easy to recover because once again, it's only a 1 power level down situation.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
the
get
game
enough power
throws-
levels
yeah,
back.
Yep, and the game throws power-ups at you all the time, which is good for the scoring because it keeps you busy grabbing items.
Yeah.
Like you're often just grabbing items and you know, nice straightforward, 2026
Yeah.
shmup.
Oh, I'm not even sure if I make it on this life either, because I accidentally picked up purple here just to mess around with it.
Yeah, the damage is okay, but like it's just too spread out between all the different.
Yeah, maybe
The
if you could
directions.
like focus more on it, it would be a little
Yeah.
more useful.
I think
like,
this
on
was
these boss-
this was the most damaging weapon in the original, was it not? The plasma.
This is not plasma. This is like
Oh.
a new shot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
like this is kind of similar to the napalm shot in Tatsujin, but like more spread out, and also
Oh.
it doesn't cover the entire screen. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
yeah,
guess
yeah, yeah.
now that I think about it, it is kind of a downgrade.
Gamers mentions purple seems completely useless. I mean, once you realize the power of white, you end up not really using much else.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels like at very beginning of this game. It's just power of white compels you to just stick with it.
We might see some no white playthroughs, perhaps, and see how it's done.
Okay, I think
This is the one.
I think on this life
This is the one, probably.
yeah.
Now you did get knocked down to only 2 speed up, so you're a little slow now.
Oh, actually, you don't want to. I manually adjusted that because you don't want to
Oh.
be like.
Oh, okay.
super fast sometimes when you're trying to dodge some of these patterns.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah. I guess the 4 gray bars means you actually have that all of it, but you've selected.
Yeah, the gray is you have that available.
Okay. Ooh, the panicked weaving.
Yeah. Later on after this run, I was like, you know, maybe it will be a little smarter to like get the higher speed for this last part.
There we go. Bombs tend to do like about an 1/8 or like 1/9 of their damage. Bombs are pretty powerful.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They do hit almost the whole screen, I've noticed. Probably more damage when they're connecting.
Yeah.
Setback. What a name for a level.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why the stages are named the way they are, outside of just it probably is another callback to like how in Tatsujin 1 the song names are quite simple, but then there's that interview I think Extruder read off when he did the Tatsujin episode where it's like Yuge giving his comments about like, you know, what does each song track mean or whatever in the context of their naming.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing. You know, these composers do come up with the song titles for a lot of these games.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can like give some. It almost feels like it gives lore to the game to some extent.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
Definitely does.
I've noticed in a variety of game soundtracks.
Yeah, I think especially like the Tatsujin like soundtrack names is, from what I remember reading it, they're evocative with what his meaning was behind it, and also as a contrast to how intense the games could be. Like this track with like Still I Love You from Tatsujin Stage 5. Even though, you know, this stage here is comparatively like not as intense versus that game. Original game is just like you're constantly besieged with enemies from like all sides.
Yeah. We can see the pacing really pick up here in the game. There's a lot of stuff you're always destroying, and a threat. Yeah. The threat is like, it's there pretty frequently. So I mean, there's some good moments where it's like you're destroying a lot of like the game's good at like when it's good, like you're destroying a lot of stuff. Like it actually feels fun. Yeah, I say actually, but it's just because the game does have just a little bit of issues.
Yeah.
the pacing. But when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
It truly is. Like for me, I would like a director's cut where they kind of like compress the game in a way. Yeah. I think that could be potentially something.
I think
the
more
really cool.
I think about it, it's oh, that dodge is so
But I mean, it's
there.
like it's hard because it's like they're making all these backgrounds, and you know, it's not easy to do this stuff, you know.
I just wish they just have some sort of like difficulty selection.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have like hard or very hard, but it starts at like loop 2 or loop 3 difficulty.
I think a patch really could help with something like that to like cater to the hardcore players a bit more. Because I mean, in the end, like those are the people that are probably going to be playing it the most. I mean, I'm saying hardcore, but I just mean people who are just going to play it repeatedly.
Yeah, and like stick with it long term.
Yeah. Because I mean, an hour and 20 minutes to like get a run going, like. I want to be done. I want to be done with my run at that point. Here's that slow music you're talking about. We're talking about earlier. I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit.
Someone else is mentioning it's mellow band music, almost post rock.
I don't really understand it, but it's like it's in this part. Is it like, is it supposed to be like you're like, just like getting the feels? I don't know. Like, oh, this is so nostalgic, and I can't believe Truxton is back. Like, it's like, I can't believe it's back, man. Oh, like you're crying at the same time.
I don't know how else you're supposed to interpret it, because it's like what Squid was saying earlier with like the juxtaposition of the Tatsujin music over the first half of the stage is pretty insane, and I kind of have to agree with him. But then you switch it to this, and it's like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to like whatever this mid boss is, like a dodecahedron
Mm-hmm.
enemy, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that music didn't fit that at all.
So if you beat that mid boss enemy there first time around, you got a 1-up item drop from that.
Oh, cool. Good tip.
So could be useful. And then once you beat that, like the rest of the stage is just like not too bad. You got these mid bosses from OG Tatsujin showing up. Screen geometrically.
I really think they could compress the game because, I mean, you look at these backgrounds, like, they're just being repeated and stuff. Like, I think they could possibly scrunch it down.
It's just like Tatsujin.
Alright. That was kind of the joke, too, when we were first seeing this, is, like, it's faithful to the original with, like, the kind of the lulls in the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the challenge is making it in the modern day. It's a challenge.
Yeah, that's the problem with, like, you want to keep it accessible, but then, like, have all this gameplay in between.
I mean, even in the last decade, like, we have never seen, like, a breakthrough shmup in the genre, like, bring in a whole new crowd of players. You know, it just remains to be a just, you know, it is what it is.
It's hard.
I think it's like I want to be the guy and like stuff like that is those rage games. Like those rage games have kind of taken over. Like this, shmups aren't even rage games.
Well, because like also too, like roguelike stuff has gotten like a massive jump in popularity, and people, funnily enough, you know, people be like, I'm willing to invest like, I don't know, an hour long runs in like my favorite roguelike, like Binding of Isaac or
Monolith.
Slay the Spire.
Elements. Monolith is a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It's like, do the developers of them want to make it? You know, try to come up with something new? That's a big ask. Or do they just gonna try to focus on appealing to what players already like throughout the years?
I mean, Zero Ranger did get some like popularity outside of just our STG shmup sphere.
Yeah, it's easy to be cynical with this genre.
I mean, the thing is, it's the best, like most best-selling titles is like what ZBS and like Gradius, and to expect stuff on that level is just hard with like the way gaming has changed so much in like the last 40-50 years. It would be very hard to expect, like, I want this game to sell like over 1 million copies because these guys did it back in the day.
Yeah,
but I think in it with like certain demographics you can make it work. It's just
nice
damn,
snipe.
I got spanked there.
You were in the perfect spot because that laser can't even turn left anymore at that point, or towards the top.
Yeah.
That boss is actually pretty good. I like that one.
It's interesting enough. I think that was also the part where my friend was like, "Oh, it's already 1:30. I need to go to bed." And I was like, "Oh wait, really?"
Yeah. And I was kind of explaining to Maximo before we began the episode, but when I did my first run and I game overed like in stage 7 or stage 6, like I didn't even want to play at the beginning of the game anymore. Like I just wanted to like continue on, and you can continue on. Like the recovery from power level 0 is actually kind of interesting. So you can just resume any level you've reached in the arcade mode, but it's not going to contribute to the ranking.
Yeah.
So at least they have that. And then of course there is a training mode. It allows you to select the middle of the level, or the
area A, B, and boss, and then you can set like lives, power level, speed, and then like bomb stock.
Pretty straightforward. Pretty basic.
So it's basic, but at least They do have it, which is good.
Yeah, there's a training mode. Alright, next phase on this boss. Oh, try this one again.
Yeah. I think there probably is a better strategy than just unload 2 bombs on one of those. Because once you get rid of one of the laser sites, a lot easier.
But yeah, these giant boss models, they're just nice.
Yeah. And there's also a model viewer in this game too, so
yeah.
You unlock more models over time of completing both arcade mode and also the other modes. But you can get like these full zoom in, zoom out rotations of the boss models, and they're quite detailed when you zoom in.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting.
You can see the boss like start to have the electricity around it as it gets weaker. Yeah, the enemies, the mid enemies all have that. The weakening animation, so nice detail.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. And also when it explodes into all those like fragment pieces. It's
voxels,
so
baby. Are those voxels? I don't know.
I don't think they are.
They kind of look like it a little bit.
Yeah.
Awareness. You became aware that you've been playing for an hour.
Oh, you know, actually now that I think about it, this probably is like also analogous to like story mode beats, because it's like there is some sort of awareness happening with like one of the characters that you play as, because this is the stage 5 for the second character you play as. But it's like each character has like their own separate like motivations. The first guy, it's like all about family, his wife, kids. Second, it's like, I don't have anybody, but I want to be like known by other people. And then the third, I think it's just more like the sort of mysterious double agent.
Yeah. Okay.
Stuff in the background. We'll probably show off maybe a little of the comic stuff here, but like as someone who's gotten to the end of like the stock comic storylines, it's like, yeah, you should probably try to see the story for yourself, because it's decently entertaining, even if I think if you're like a huge sci-fi nut, you're like, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense in certain parts.
Jamer's comments, the 3 characters have a unique stage, and arcade combines all 3 stages, which is why it's so long.
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned
that makes sense.
A little bit earlier, but yeah. It doesn't feel nearly as long to go for each character versus like all the arcade mode, just combining all these 5, 6, and 7 together. So
yeah. But yeah, the explosions are sweet. They got that black smoke effect too.
Yeah.
Afterwards, when they explode, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I think actually the one thing I would maybe minorly change though is like maybe making some of the sound effects with like the explosions maybe either a little bit longer or like a little bit louder.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like especially in Tatsujin, like that is huge crunchy like sound effects whenever you destroy stuff, and it's like maybe a little bit more of that would be kind of cool.
Part's kind of cool. Just throw huge, 3 huge guys at you. There you go.
But then we're gonna get another visit from our famous dodecahedron.
Oh, you're out of position. Get in the center.
So yeah, I didn't want the same mistake as my first credit where I accidentally picked up green here and then just like ate it. Oops.
Damn. You forgot to move there.
Yeah, at the heat of the moment, I thought like, you know, I had it, but
the game can surprise you with like, sometimes you think you're good.
Yeah, but other times it's like. So now that I think about it, slightly different like bullet positioning type or whatever. That one drops a 2-up if you kill it on the first loop.
Oh, nice, 2-up hype. That's a gotcha there. The first one of those is not, or shoots immediately, I think, but then the rest follow.
Yeah,
I just kind of remember that.
Yeah, this will probably kill people if you're just in the middle a lot of the time. A lot of the gotchas in this game are basically just like, don't be in the middle. It's especially if homie, it has so much coverage. It's just like, dude, you're going to be able to just get out of the way easily without too much positioning.
Yeah, it homes in so fast, and there's so many of them, and it homes in smartly, too. Like...
Oh yeah, and then this track feels like just some post-credits scene, which is a little goofy.
The background reminds me of that like minefield of R-Type, from like Stage 2, or was it R-Type 2?
Right. Yeah, that's also I think
some
Tatsujin
references
Stage
here and
3
there.
as well.
Oh, is it like Tatsujin? Okay.
Tatsujin Stage 3 has something similar to that because there's another section right after this, which is like, you need resources? We got resources.
Yeah. Look at that background, just wow. Like Halo, it's like Halo back there.
Yeah. I'm thinking now, or just like OG Macross, where from MK1, where it's like all these big ships and stuff like that, stuff in the background.
Yeah. I mean, Tatsujin, Truxton, that was the influence. Those likely, those anime, those mech animes and stuff.
Yeah, I like to say a lot that like the big inspiration stuff for like probably mecha stuff is like probably Space Battleship Yamoto, OG Gundam, OG Macross, and like maybe Space Runaway Ideon for like the laser tracking stuff. Yeah, this shit can get you the first time, but because it is static, you just sit in the same spot.
You learn the spot. You find a safe spot. Yeah. I died to it at least a couple times first time.
Yeah, there is a potential you get a similar formation like that in the last stage, and there it's like you gotta get into like the safe spots like several times before you can move on, which will probably trip people up who are not well versed with that, I imagine. But here you can basically restock on all your bombs.
Oh yeah, this bomb refill part.
Just like Tatsujin Stage 3, which can be very handy for like multi-loop play, even though placement here maybe makes a little less sense versus the original, where I think Stage 3 in the original, it's like you're at the halfway point basically of the loop. It's like having the resources there, and also the loop itself not being that easy after like a loop or two makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you max out bomb stock, you can get more score items.
Right.
Or just use the bombs as like safety if you're gonna get flanked on the sides. And foaming, you really don't need to move that much. With other types, like if you had the blue laser, probably have to be a lot more cognizant, because I think the blue laser in this game, you can do the same lock-on stuff, but it's like nowhere near as powerful as like original Tatsujin, where you can just at max power just park yourself in the middle of the screen on like stage 4 and just destroy everything.
Yeah, the other weapons are slightly more powerful than white, but since their utility is lesser, it ends up being worse.
Dude, yeah, that sax solo is insane. Just, what are we doing?
It's like sentimental.
It's like a use game, like sort of
use game?
Cheesiness.
Like what?
The Ys action RPGs.
Oh, Ys.
Ys, yeah.
Nice. I like how you blow up like parts of the bosses. That's always appreciated.
That is cool, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta give him some credit. I mean, the dude knows what he's doing overall. I mean, they know what they're doing overall. So it's like, they
basically invented the genre. Yeah, they were the progenitors. shmups for
because
a lot of the classic design traits.
Yeah, because Toaplan not only influenced Raiden, the most popular shmup ever, but also
the best flying game ever.
But flying game. But they also invented the bullet hell genre with Tatsujin.
Yeah,
so it's like they've really done it all, man. They've done it all.
Yeah, and then V5 has like the smaller hitboxes too, and like the denser patterns. So,
and Flying Shark is like the most refined, like old school shmup ever made, and it's like, man.
Yeah.
Like they like, I think it lives up to their cred overall. So it's like, if you want to spend $25, you got some money to throw around, and you're like a big shmup fan, like I can recommend it. I can, but you're just gonna see some of the downfalls the more you play it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know.
I tried talking about this to like some other people I know of like multi-loop OG Tatsujin, and they're just like, they were a little harsh about it initially. At first, they're just like, this sequel has like no future, and it's just like, well,
yeah,
you can't just immediately jump to that without experiencing it for yourself. I feel this is kind of how every game of this genre is. You have to really experience it before really understanding.
Yeah, and if you're putting forth like, you know, the 5 hours or whatever to like beat arcade mode 1cc and unlock the other loops, like you're gonna see like it does have a focused gameplay for the expert players, and so it's just a matter of like if you want to spend that time or not. It's up to you.
Exactly.
Hail Sadako mentions in the chat, I hope they make Tatsujin Extreme next.
Yeah, I think they actually did talk in one of their interviews about like, we would like to make more games under this like vein, which
I hear that I hear they're getting, sales are okay.
That's good.
From what I hear. So I mean, this could be a catalyst for maybe a more interesting release in the future.
Yeah,
or even
and
better,
also
or even better.
An interesting counterpoint too to like with Exa doing like their own arranges of like Batsuga and Exa label. I think they're still planning to do Tatsujin Exa label as well.
Oh wow!
And there's also Fixate Exa label too, which I hear is pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. Damn, you dodged like last moment there.
Yeah, I think for this you could probably utilize the P drops more to like block the shots.
Oh, nice, yeah. So this is getting hard. This is actually like hard here.
Yeah, I think with that, probably could have maybe avoided bombing there with like a little more precise brooding, but like thankfully because of the restock here, you can afford to like get away with dropping some bombs here and there.
Oh yeah.
Don't get stuff out of the way in time. Yeah, this music here is also a little goofy. It's like,
I liked it in Under Defeat, but you know, even that level, I mean, in that level, okay, in Under Defeat, one of the levels like starts out somber, like stage 5 or the last stage starts out somber, and like the stage is like super dark and gray, and you can see like there's an ongoing battle, and the music is like kind of like reflective. But then after like after you get into the action for like 10 seconds, it like kicks into like one like the coolest fucking rock shmup songs ever.
Oh yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
That was badass, but here it's just like the shit keeps playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the drums came in, you know.
This feels like some space opera songs you're like looking at from like your cockpit after the battle's done.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
It's funny because like in that interview with Yuge, he was mentioning how like it's so important to have like the sound and the gameplay all come together nicely, and maybe just the
then we get another Dodecahedron.
Nice. But maybe the execution on the music placement wasn't the best in this. In the end. It's like, man, that's like straight up some Raiden shit with the crystal coming in.
Oh, right in 5.
Or just I don't know. You fight the crystal, okay, like that, and it does like a screen, like a full screen pattern type of thing.
Right.
I don't know. You can see the references now and then to other games. Like Thunder Force. I instantly thought with white it was like, oh, it reminds me of Free Range from Thunder Force 5.
Thunder Force 5, yeah.
The weapon that is like your go-to.
Yeah, Free Range is so fun, but it is a little sad that none of the other weapons get used compared to Free Range.
You end up like needing Free Range in the late game too. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how it went, I think, my first time too. You just try not to die and stick with Free Range for everything. But then you can always do harder difficulties, and from what I understand, harder really kicks things up compared to normal.
Yeah, so here you got like this section of these full screen walls of enemies and kind of mine that try to kill them immediately, and they don't even fire.
Yeah. Yeah, back there, the dodecahedron, if you kill in the first loop, I think it is possible to kill it with a... If you kill it in enough time, you can get a 3-up item. I haven't gotten that yet in either of my runs, which is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, this boss, when I saw it for the first time, I was thinking, like, is this... We have Viper Phase 1 at home.
I think Jamers, when he was watching me play a game on my stream, he compared it to a Rekka boss.
Oh,
I think one of them has
right.
like
I think there is like kind of one limp enemy that's like
it like fills the whole top of the screen like that.
Right.
Pretty good bosses.
The bosses are all quite varied, yeah. Opening this stage is kind of cool too, the panning and stuff like that.
Sweet earth in the background.
You can also use the power-ups to just stop it, because...
I'm like, wait a second, look at those land formations. Is that Earth? I don't know.
Wait a minute, is that Japan? No way.
Maybe that was Europe and that's North America there. It probably was Earth.
Yeah.
What else is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Terra or Gaia or other names for Earth and other various anime.
Yeah. I've lost track of how many different naming schemes there's been by now. Yeah, then most of the stage is just like you're inside this gigantic enemy base.
We are still on one loop, everyone.
Yeah, this is still...
Just to remind you.
Yeah, almost an hour in. But I think the way this works with the base is like, this first section here, you get those like stage 1 enemy formations, but then there's like 3 sections after that where then it's like, it can be semi-randomized what enemy formations you get.
Man, I thought this episode was going to be an hour and a half, but we were easily going past 2 now. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, every time I played this game so far, it's been like, oh, I thought this was going to be over quicker than it actually is.
Yeah.
I lost sleep after doing this credit because of just how long it took.
All the people I've seen that comment on the link, they're like, well, I got work tomorrow, so, and I gotta do...
Yeah, Iconoclast is like that,
like,
too,
I have to do shit,
like,
and, you know, I'm actually tired now, and...
He's like, I got my 6 all, but I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. for work.
I got some shit,
I'll
like,
try
everyone's like, I
again
got some
once
shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's real, because it's like, sometimes you just have stuff you gotta do, and it's like you gotta figure out what's more important.
I think the bottom line is, yeah, just you know, enjoy it how you will. And, I don't know. No game is perfect. At the end of the day.
It is what it is, yeah. Someone else was
Gradius
asking
5
me.
was an hour long. But already, Gradius 5 is a little bit better.
I think Gradius 5 doesn't have the same pacing issues, though.
Yeah, no, like, it doesn't. It doesn't.
There's not really any downtime, from what I can remember. Someone else was asking me when I sent in my score on the farm yesterday if they thought like homing affects scoring and stuff like that, and pretty much my answer is just like maybe there's certain instances where it's like you might use more of the EX bar of white versus like other weapons, but at the same time it's like the coverage and like homing ability is just so good that outside of like that one stage 3 section, it's really hard to think of other spots where other weapons may be better.
Yeah.
And then just optimize for like no def, getting all the secret 5,000 point bonuses.
I do think white could be nerfed, and then the other weapons could be buffed.
Yeah.
But maybe they want you just to use white.
But also just like the whole, you have to unlock the times 11, times 12 multipliers as like unlockables for basically playing the game enough and destroying stuff is a little weird. I don't know why they decided to go for that.
Yeah, we didn't mention that yet, but yeah, you unlock times 11 and times 12 for the EX bonuses through gameplay.
Yeah, so it just means like for however many hours it takes you to get to that point, you'll lose out a little bit of score parity with those that have fully unlocked everything, because I think times 12 is like the last big unlock in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of a moot point though, because if you're gonna spend that time, like you're gonna be one of those players like who's gonna be competing on times 12. There's competition between times 10 and times 11 is not gonna be as focused or important. I don't know what the wording would be there. But anyone who's going to be score attacking this seriously is going to have. It's already going to have the times 12.
Yeah, it's just, I guess my perspective when I'm thinking about it is like you're basically losing out like 10k per each point item that's like not maxed out, which with how many drops there are, it does add up to like millions over time if you're like already from the get-go trying to go for like loops.
Yeah.
And I got spanked there because I forgot. These are fast. Those enemy variants are faster in this stage versus like earlier.
Ah. You have the screen. Oh, go ahead.
But at this point, I was like, I still got 10 lives, so it should be good.
On this stage, you have the screen with the side walls, but previously in the levels, you could still scroll the screen slightly. Left and right. Kind of interesting they still included that, despite the wide resolution, or the aspect ratio.
Yeah. I mean, I think it works well enough in this instance.
Yeah.
It being like the whole setting, and
it gives it that old school feel when you pan
still
the screen
enough
like that.
That's shooting you at this point with being in League 2.
Oh yeah.
The story mode variants for this, they barely shoot you bullets here, so it does feel a little barren, but again, story mode is probably for like the more casual, like people just wanting to get used to the game first, so
yeah,
that's probably just the preference, instilled by that.
I mean, this game probably would teach a new player to shmup those fundamentals. Shmup fundamentals.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, that's still good. There's...
Yeah. I think it's fine as long as you're just bringing the people in that want to then also aim for higher and just want to get better on their own terms. So we got these guys for stage 4. This one's not too bad.
possibly needless to say, but the recording we're using does have some artifacting and stuff going on, but the game does look great in person. It'll look nicer when you burn it on your own. A lot of effects going on here. Smoke and glowing, and the bullets, and of course the enemies. It's all gonna bog down
I should have
recording a little bit.
mentioned this, but like I used some compressor for the video because otherwise the 3-hour long video of like just base X264 would have taken forever to upload on YouTube. Network speed. So
okay, fair.
On my card I can do hardware like AV1 compression, which saves a lot of space and upload time.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this part's kind of boring. Like, it does this, like, part for so long.
Oh, yeah, there's two variants to this. There's one that's just, like, these longer pincers with the turrets on the side, or you have more of the pincers, but then you have, like, the regular enemies rushing on you, which
it's random, or what do you mean by
the
that?
harder variant, since you could technically get rammed if there's, like, a gap in the shot, but with homing, I don't think I ever encountered that issue.
What do you mean the variations? How does the variation occur?
So I think I was mentioning this earlier, but for arcade mode, it is semi-random. But like, if you're doing story mode, like different characters have certain types of enemy formations for like these different sections. But then arcade, I guess, because there can only be like one stage 8 instead of multiple stage 8s. It will randomize like what formations come out. So like you could get this formation, you get like a different subset, like stage 7 enemies coming out.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but for this I got the interlocking pattern that you saw in stage 6, which again, because it is static, you can just move it up and down the safe spots depending on like where they orient themselves. And with homing, it takes care of the extra enemies that pop out on the sides. Whereas I think, yeah, if you have another enemy type or weapon type, could be a lot harder.
Shoutouts to Bryce Dixon, featured on this where you play through your Steam notifications.
Yeah, it's one of my Steam friends. I forgot to turn notifications off. Oops.
Doing that thing where he comes online or like over and over.
Yeah, that guy, I think he's in South Korea right now, so for some reason he's just active in the morning, I guess. This is like 2 a.m. my time, so probably at this point in Japan it's like midday.
Yeah. Alright, so you're at 160 mil, you've gotten 16 extra lives, plus other extra lives, and you're on loop 2.
Lives, yeah.
You have all your power-ups, you have full EX gauge. I think we're coming up on the last boss now, or?
Yeah, this is the last boss here. We got this octopus-like skull motif going on.
Mecha Cthulhu, perhaps?
Yeah. Not too bad. You just have to recognize you pop off the different parts of the head.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the hitbox is really small in this, I noticed, by the way. Did you notice that?
It is a lot smaller versus the other games, yeah.
Yeah, it
you
really
can make
is.
some like really... I made a lot of like really stupid dodges. I'm like, I would not be able to get away with this in any other game.
I don't mind that. I think
It's funny.
it's a good call, I think. People usually complain about hitboxes being too big. These days.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with big hitboxes in like some of these older games is it makes routing a lot more annoying when you are having a hard time figuring out like how big it can encompass.
Yeah.
So just focusing on more dense patterns and smaller hitbox feels like a pretty natural step up.
A comment is suggesting he's doing card farming.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know how that works, but
Oh yeah, I think here I was kind of dumb and I forgot. I need a bomb for this because
Oof.
totally don't know how to dodge that. But you don't have to do the first phase of the boss again. You just start the second phase here if you die.
Wow.
Which is kind of a nice checkpoint. Pretty forgiving.
Squid Dude says you can sit in the top left or top right corner.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll know that for next time I play this if I do.
Is it center? Is center? Not even center. You gotta go in the corners.
Yeah.
Center is like a bait.
Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense just like looking at this after the fact. So yeah, then he can do this funny attack with the different segments popping off. And then we have the final phase here, which, if you don't know, yeah. This is where you just have the EX meter or like an extra bomb if you need it.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Do you know if the bosses time out? That timer was at 7 seconds.
I think they can time out, but I forget if it's like, besides the losing score, I forget it's just they self-destruct or they go off. I haven't looked around at that.
So
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's the end of the loop.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the title card and let's try to wrap things up as we maybe comment on loop 3 and stuff.
Really,
here.
yeah, with this run, I got stuck at this like stalactite checkpoint at 3-3 and then just lost too much power to make it past the checkpoint.
But yeah, I think anybody who watches this is gonna have a pretty good idea of what you're dealing with Truxton Extreme. Like I say, they're selling it for about $25 USD. It'll probably go on sale, and I can recommend it if you want to check it out. And there's some fun to be had here, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
will it be lasting, or will you play it more than 5 hours? I can't say, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if I'm going to.
Well, I think you can get the clear at least. It's just,
yeah.
I think the reason why I am a little mixed on this is just like, yeah, the average loop time as it is right now is just like way too long, and there are just like some adjustments I think that could be made for difficulty stuff. For difficulty settings without basically necessitating like you lose out on your ranking on the leaderboard if you don't start at like 1-1 every time. That would be nice to see.
Yeah. And like these changes might not be that difficult, but it's just a matter of if they want to do them. And
yeah,
I mean, like,
I still, even if like, James was just telling you, like, you don't have any patches or updates for the future, would be interesting. Because the only other thing I did notice that was like a little weird is sometimes with story mode, even though like I had the times 11 multiplier unlocked at some points, it would get stuck at like times 10, and I'm not sure why that would happen. It felt pretty random to me. But then in arcade mode, I didn't have this issue, so I'm not sure what's up with that.
I'm going to show the comic briefly since you made some footage for that.
Yeah, you definitely should, because...
Should I play with sound? Should probably play with sound, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I only recorded like the first 2 parts of the comic and stuff like that because there is a lot of story in here, and like some of the stuff in here is like, it is interesting. Definitely something I think you should check it out.
We'll just give you guys a preview of it.
Yeah. It adds like a lot more lore compared to like what you saw in some of these games before, which in a lot of old Toaplan interviews, basically they're just like, yeah, we kind of did these throwaway stories just to like basically get people situated with like, you're fighting aliens, just beat them up. But like, because it's modern day, and I guess they want to differentiate that. Genua Inoue, who has worked with like Cave and also Toaplan a bunch of games before, also did Batome, which was a manga that he illustrated and wrote, and also got anime adaptation probably like 15 or so years ago. Some of the writing in that manga is kind of carries over to here, where it's just like all this like extra expansion, like kind of subversive elements with like the sci-fi settings, adding a lot of like reason, like, why do we have Tatsujin fighters in the first place? Why are we fighting these aliens and stuff like that?
Nice.
And then also just like talking about like, yeah, we've got like this unified world government, but like it's run by AI, and like what are the implications that result because of that? AI is not really something new that's been done in like a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like I've been playing Raid Force a lot in the last month, and it's like that game has a lot of stuff. It's like, don't let AI choose everything because it'll go crazy and might just try to turn everything you're playing into cyborg / mechanized beast, which funnily enough kind of happens here too.
I mean, that sci-fi theme is becoming more and more relevant in our day as time goes on and on. And I just played through Detroit Become Human. Funny you mentioned that the other couple days ago, which focuses on the near future where we have living in harmony with like robots and AI and all this, and we're starting to see this become a reality and what the implications are. It's kind of getting wild, man. I don't know.
I don't know either, because it's like, you know, there's certain stuff over the years where it's like a lot of things have been talked about. Like there are certain benefits you can bring with like using, whether it's like language learning models or AI, whatever you want to call it. But there are negative consequences to pursuing that approach, and it's kind of, I think, up to us to kind of counterbalance those aspects of it first, something that like people tangibly want. And that's something that I feel like a lot of sci-fi stories want people to engage with, that aspect, because that is something that people have been talking about for even decades, about like, we will create AI to like oversee this, and it will be so much more efficient in handling all these major decisions that we can invest in for other areas. And sometimes there's that sort of disconnect there where people may not realize, fully, what's kind of baked into that. So
yeah, I mean, sci-fi has a pretty big role in kind of like being a protector, I feel like, for humanity, and somewhat if people actually, take these storylines seriously.
Yeah, so there you see it too. It's just like AI-driven government. So you have like a whole AI president that just basically, it's like he's governing for 100 years and makes all these decisions about like, we need to make all these decisions here to focus on protecting our humanity, but at what cost?
Soon we'll have the all AI made shmup, and it will be one of the best shmups ever made.
Don't, dude. People have already been trying to get away with that on like certain servers and be like, I have a demo, and then it's like the entire game was just made with AI. And
I mean, the games are so simple, it's going to be so easy for AI to perfect it, right?
Yeah, there have been a few people that have already been like that.
Tell. A little sarcasm, but it truly takes a lot of effort to make these games a great experience. We can see, even though the team for Tatsujin Limited for Truxton Extreme, I mean, it looks like they struggled a little bit. But, I think we got a fairly decent game out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it is something to pack into here.
Yeah. and price point I think is fair. I mean,
Yeah.
what it is. So, okay, guys. Well, I think Maximo and I have been on this long enough. We're on loop 3 of this episode at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for recording that footage, Maximo, and of course, good to host an episode of just me and Maximo today too.
Yeah, it's interesting being able to talk about our thoughts, because I think the last time we did any like new major release was like what was it, the Bullet Soul Infinite like Steam release, and sometimes I do revisit some of these old episodes to just kind of not only figure out how I want to present stuff for the upcoming episode, but also see like how things are done. And I felt like, there's certain stuff we've done in the past, like the Dust Mouse localization episode I think was really good, with just like kind of this intimate discussion between people involved in the translation of that, because I met that person at our local arcade probably like a month ago, and it was really interesting to like talk to them about like the stuff they did with translation, working on like the localization for 360 Death Smiles and Art Battle Arc Rise Fantasia, I believe it's called, from Arc System Works. But then on the other hand, you have stuff like the Bullet Soul Infinite episode where after the fact it's like, wow, I don't know where this commentary is supposed to be going, because we were just had like 5 or 6 different people in that goofing off the whole time, and kind of didn't really capture the essence of the gameplay we're going forward.
Oh, I know. Some of the old episodes are kind of cringe at this point.
So it's like, because I also like, people after the fact will just be like, I like seeing this stuff as like a resource. So it's like, it is kind of good to find that balance between like, you don't have to be super serious about it all the time, but like, you do want to cover like some of these major points and stuff like that there, because people have used that as like a factor in like either their opinions or like, do I want to support and like buy this release? Because positive and negative reception can make it or break it with such a small all-encompassing community as it is for shooting games and shmups in general.
Yeah, it is true. There can probably be some groupthink going on with like a release like this, and I think we tried our best to give it our an honest take, and I think we were generous. We were a little generous in our takes.
Yeah, I mean, I think my playtime's at like 8 or 9 hours, so like I tried to put enough time into this to kind of give as much of a fully formed opinion as
there's tons of shmups I've played that I haven't spent more than a few hours on, but I still enjoyed them. Maybe that's really all it's about, just a nice experience, Pick it up.
Yeah, and if
the music's amazing. If you never heard the Tatsujin soundtrack before, you're probably going to be in for a treat. It's a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
both
I agree. Of them. But actually, now that you do mention it, I don't think we actually have covered Tatsujin on the show before, so I think that would be interesting to maybe do at some point, because that game has such a storied reputation, and there are so many like historical things that you could really talk about with just not only the game itself, but like how it influenced like just like scoring metrics, like people tracking stuff. Like it's kind of like Gradius 3 in that sense, where you have these sort of like inclusive, like hardcore player communities where it's just like, how far can we push this extremely difficult game?
Right.
So, I'll have to look around and see who wants to do that at some point. There's got to be somebody. And I see Squid Dude, I think he recently got one too, so don't be surprised. Maybe he'll reach out to you in the future about that.
Oh, nice. E-Muser comes to mind. I think he knows both the Tatsujins, doesn't he? E-Muser?
Maybe I don't remember if he's actually cleared Tatsujin or Truxton 2.
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for coming in to the episode. I think we're done here. It's a long one. But it's not just about of course we didn't just talk about Truxton Extreme, but we did talk about what it means to release a shmup in 2026. Truxton Extreme. yeah, what it means to release it again, a shmup like this in 2026, and what it is to be a fan of shmups at this time, and for a game to come out like that, and what it means for people who are new to the genre. It's there's still, there's just so many people that are younger that are still getting into this genre. So the more new games we have coming out like this, it can attract those new players. Because new stuff does tend to attract new people. Overall, I've noticed. So, in any case, we're gonna sign off then. Thank you for coming by, episode 218. Maximo, we're gonna sign off. So yeah, do take care. Till next time.
Yep. See you next game. Later.